Before I ask MIchel up here to speak, the Next 50 team would like to thank all of our partners. We've had quite a few who have helped us in these dialogues, starting with ICOMOS Nepal, the International Council of on Monuments and Sites, who helped us conduct our technical sessions, and without them it would have been very difficult. We'd also like to thank Creation, who helped us and worked with us to deliver the worksheets for students and teachers in Chitwan. The Big Climb Nepal, which is a joint initiative with UNESCO, which allowed our UNESCO colleagues and the head of office himself, Michael Croft, to travel to the Everest Base Camp on a 10-day trek to speak with stakeholders and local and indigenous people on the future of the Sagarmatha World Heritage Site and the greater region. IYMS, who worked with us to create and execute the Next 50 video competition. We'd like to extend a special thanks to Supriya Shrestha, social media influencer, who lent us her voice for the video. She couldn't be here with us today, but we'd like to thank her all the same. And we'd like to thank Mr. Naresh Shrestha, Chairman of Khabar Hub and Director of the Institute of Strategic and Socioeconomic Research, a think tank that has been our partner in the dialogue sessions. And they have provided us with logistical support, input, feedback, and of course, a really wonderful and high-tech venue, particularly for our technical sessions. We'd like to thank the Daya Foundation, where we held a very interesting dialogue with youth on the future of heritage at their restored house, Daya Chen, in Kathmandu Darbar Square. And finally, we'd like to thank our tremendously talented colleague, David Witte, for his wonderful work on the infographics. David, without you, it would have been very difficult to summarize the learnings, so thank you so much. We really, really appreciate your really wonderful infographics, which everybody appreciated. And thank you all for being here today and for sharing the learnings with us. So, MIchel.
And its cultural heritage, but also our institution of UNESCO, and what we can and what we can't do, and what we should do as well, and pushing us forward for that. My big thanks, I think, today is really, I want to thank all of you. I have to assume that just about every person in this room is here because they participated in a dialogue. And I want to thank you really from the bottom of my heart and the organization's heart. The Next 50, and I don't know, to let you in on a little secret, so to speak. Just over a year ago, I was in headquarters, and I was meeting a colleague from the World Heritage Committee, and she pulled up this document, and it said the Next 50, and she said, "Do you know about this?" And I said, "No, what is it? The Next 50 what?" And then she reminded me that this year was the 50th anniversary of the 1972 convention. And I looked through it, and I said, oh my goodness, this is just what we need right now. Because last year, a year ago, we were looking at how to rethink UNESCO in Nepal a little bit, to come up with a strategy that really was more robust. This is a very rich country when you look at it through the eyes of UNESCO. Not just the cultural and natural heritage, but the tremendous, the social diversity here. Forgive me because some of you have heard me say this many times, but I often say to my Nepali friends that this country makes no sense. It shouldn't exist. How can you have this different combination of religion, ethnicity, language, caste? How can this mix be there and it function? It doesn't make any sense. But you do exist, and you do function. And in doing so, you, I think, are special, really beyond your borders, because Nepal is one of those few examples that we have to treasure in this difficult world that we have today, which is an example that we are not condemned by our nature to slaughter each other over our differences. And that's why for us it was so important that we come up with something with different stakeholders. And the Venerable said something I think at the beginning, which reminded me in terms of that, it's only that when we're open to the truth that we know where we stand. And in a way, the Next 50 is like that for us. If we are open to what your expectations are for UNESCO and how you want us to be oriented, then we can sort of plant our feet firmly on the ground and move ahead for the next 10 years, and over the next 10 years, for the next 50 years. Because, as Dr. Suresh had said, this is actually just the beginning of the next 50. Maybe the conclusion of the dialogues for this year, but the beginning of the next 50. So, an enormous thank you for participating and helping guide us, helping us learn as an organization, and pointing us in the direction where you think we should be going, because at the end of the day, we work for you, right? And the organization is about you. So, with that, I'd like to just sort of say, I think one last final thank you to my dear colleagues. It's been a team effort, assuredly, but Sophia and Monica, you've done tremendously well. Very, 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 very impressed. And thank you for delivering, in a way, what I think are really interesting set of conclusions. I was very taken, especially with digitalization, because I have to admit, when I first looked and said we're talking about digitalization, I'm smart, I'm intelligent enough to know that probably people have something good to say about that, but I had no clue. But fortunately, the young people especially, I think, were able to orient us and show the possibilities of digitalization for culture. So thank you so much for all your efforts over the past year and everything that you've done, because I think that it's been really wonderful, and you've helped get us to a point where we really needed to be. So with that, I believe we have a high tea outside, and it's high time we had our tea. So thank you once again to everybody, and with that, I close the final dialogue. Namaskar.